Hello, lore nerds. Today we're covering the Spellplague. I know I say this, a lot in a lot of videos about different topics I do, but the Spellplague was truly a very big, important event in Forgotten Realms history. It arguably is one of the most important events. It began in 1385 DR, 27 years after the Time of Troubles, which was last video's topic, and lasted for 10 years. So, how did it start? Well, in last video, I did say Mistra dies a lot, and yeah, she dies again. But this time she was assassinated by the gods Sirik and Shar, with Shar wanting to control the weave, which would have made her extremely powerful. Sirik's motivation stemmed from his time as a mortal alongside Midnight and Kalimvor during the Time of Troubles, where he grew to resent them. After the Time of Troubles, they all became gods, and with Midnight replacing Mistra, so the Mistra at this point uh, was Midnight becoming Mistra, so they became the same person, which I kind of explained a little bit better in the last video, so watch that video. As a sort of act of vengeance and almost seems like pettiness, although I guess there probably is a deeper feeling to it, but yeah, Sirik wanted to kill Mistra and was spurred on by Shar. During this, when everything went wild from Mistress Death, as it always does, Shar combined the plane of shadow with the negative energy plane to create the Shadowfell, which she now rules. When Mistra was killed, since she could no longer maintain the weave, magic went wild for 10 whole years, called the Wailing Years. Arcane magic kind of just ceased to function, and Toril began to transform. Oddly, if you look at other times Mistra has died, she reincarnated very quickly, meaning the effects were more contained and temporary. However, for some reason, this time she stayed dead for quite a while, and so the effects were worldwide, in fact, more than worldwide, and some still persist to this day around 100 years later. The corrupted and torn weave made magic volatile, and arcane magic was essentially useless. This corrupted arcane energy often took the form of blue fire, which spread through the multiverse. The fires began in a jungle west of Helrua, and having already divined the death of Mistra, Helruan wizards used the energy of the blue fire to shift their kingdom to a bear. Unfortunately, the rest of Helrua was destroyed in a massive explosion felt as far away as Waterdeep. So, rest in peace, Helrua. The fire spread all over Toril and all over Faerun. All of it was affected, some destroyed, and new places were created. Thousands of spellcasters were either destroyed or went insane, and those that survived generally lost their arcane magic. The fire seeped through portals and reached Abir, where it was named the Blue Breath of Change. It caused a primordial fortress to explode, which was comparable to the Tearfall in destructiveness, and rocked the entire planet. Aside from those effects and the effects on arcane magic, it also had many effects on the gods themselves. Severus, a divination god, was destroyed when Mistra's realm of Dwemerheart dissolved. Azuth, the wizard god, fell into the Nine Hells and was absorbed by Asmodeus, which made Asmodeus a full-on deity. Sirik was imprisoned in the Supreme Throne after a trial. Now, Lathander, the Morning Lord, transformed back into Orminator, a Netherese solar deity. It had been rumored that Lathander was Orminator in a different form or like an aspect of him, and after the Spellplague, Lathander was changed back into Orminator. Now, Orminator is worshipped both by that name and the name Lathander. It also had various effects on the planes. For one thing, it actually literally destroyed the World Tree, that sentient cosmic structure that connected the celestial realms. Yeah, it was destroyed in the Spellplague. Most of the outer planes were either destroyed or merged together, creating what are called astral dominions. It also pulled the Feywild back closer towards Toril, and with his new godly power, Asmodeus hurled the abyss into the elemental chaos to try end the blood war, which is the war between demons and devils. That didn't work, but it did stall it for like 100 years or so. So good enough, I guess, Asmodeus. By 1395 DR, most of the effects subsided, with arcane magic returning more or less to normal with some changes. By 1479 DR, any places still affected were called the Plague Lands. In 1480 DR, Mistra returned after being refueled by her chosen Elminster. It was only in around 1487 DR that she became whole again. It was in 1482 DR that Lord Ao began the Second Sundering to clean up the effects of the Spellplague, but we'll cover that in a future video. One of the other few times Lord Ao has ever done anything ever. For now, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video.